we are here now, or we are here now. It's both. It's about time and space. Trying to locate the church, both in North America, but in relationship to the international church, and the local congregation, because the primary focus is on the life of the local church. And to locate it in both space and time. There's a lot of talk these days, over the last 20 years, about being in a post-Christendom, post-Christian, post-modern, lots of posts. And I see the point of all those, and I try and talk about those in the book, but I also want to say that we need to define ourselves positively, and the way I like to say where we are, both in time and space, is we're in a new missional era. And the book describes that from the point of view of the local church and invites local churches to enter a spiritual journey of discovery of what God is calling them to do in mission. It's actually quite practical. I'm an academic, and in a way I never thought I could write such a practical book, but it is. It's very practical. It describes the experience that myself and other colleagues at Church Innovations over the last 20-some years have had working with local churches and inviting them into such a spiritual discernment journey, into this new era, this new missional era. The step-by-step process, the phases, and lots of stories describing very different kinds of congregations from around the world, and how they've had this, how they've experienced and how they've made this journey of spiritual discernment. I chose to work with a new partner that has developed over the last couple of years with Allelon. Church Innovations and Allelon have come together to form Allelon Publishing, and that has meant more than just the publishing enterprise itself. It's also really a new way of relating emergent and missional churches around the world and making it possible for resources, very practical resources, to be put into the hands of leaders in these locations. And this book is a perfect illustration of that. All the illustrations in the book are created by a South African, Nico Simpson, who developed these illustrations out of the various sundry congregations in Botswana, in Namibia, and South Africa, where they have gone through this process of spiritual discernment. And that has shaped rather profoundly the way in which it's been done in North America. And so from congregation to congregation, these materials have been gathered, put into this book, and Allelon Publishing is making it available for other congregations. It's not very often, frankly, that a publishing organization says, look, local churches can learn more from one another than they can learn from probably anybody else, but they're not really given the opportunity as much as they might to learn from one another. And so we're trying to utilize those places and those congregations that can be teaching congregations who have a lot to teach, put them together in sort of a practical book like this one that describes their experience, and share it with others. And that's really key to Allelon. Allelon Publishing has also published Al Roxburgh's book, The Sky is Falling, which gets at the systems that are undergoing change and wise ways in which that might be done. And once again, though, it's really close to the ground, practical, with solid theological framing. Unfortunately, too much publishing today divides the practical from the theological. And what you're going to see from Allelon Publishing is this close marriage of solid research upon experience in healthy islands of innovation and solid social scientific analysis, all within a theological framework. with a focus on the local church and the way in which the local church might be helped to innovate its capacity to be missional.